We're living in what many call the age of anxiety. Does that sound familiar? Every day, we're bombarded with notifications, endless news cycles, and the pressure to have it all figured out. We worry about our future, our careers, our relationships, and what everyone else thinks. It feels like we're constantly running on a hamster wheel of stress, and it's exhausting. At the very heart of Stoicism is a simple but life-changing idea called the dichotomy of control. The great Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it best: some things are within our power, and some things are not. Think about it. You can't control the traffic, the weather, or what other people say about you. You can't control the economy or global events. Trying to manage these things is like trying to hold water in your hands. It is a guaranteed recipe for frustration and anxiety. So, what can you control? Your tour, your judgments, your actions, and your responses. Ta torcite. Stoicism teaches us to pour all our energy into this small circle of control and to accept everything outside of it with grace. When you stop fighting unwinnable battles against things you can't change, you free up an incredible amount of mental energy. This is the first and most crucial step to conquering anxiety. Next, let's talk about perception. Another Stoic master, Marcus Aurelius, wrote private journal, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." This means that it's not external events themselves that cause us distress, but our interpretation of them. Imagine you send an important email to your boss and you don't get a reply for hours. The anxious mind immediately starts spiraling. Did I say something wrong? Am I going to get fired? They must hate me. But what's the reality? Your boss might just be in a long meeting, or their internet could be down. The event itself, the lack of a reply, is neutral. It's your judgment that it's a catastrophe that creates the anxiety. The Stoics teach us to pause and challenge these initial judgments. Ask yourself, is this interpretation actually true, or is it just a story I'm telling myself? By separating fact from fiction, you can disarm anxiety before it takes root. You realize that most of your fears are self-created illusions. Now, this next one might sound a bit dark, but it's incredibly powerful. Asterisk memento mori asterisk. It's Latin for remember that you will die. The Stoics weren't being morbid. They were being realistic. They used this reminder not to create fear, but to create perspective. When you're stressing about a minor mistake at work or a silly argument you had, take a step back and think about it in the grand scheme of your life. Will this matter in a year, in a decade? On your deathbed? Almost always. Remembering our mortality helps us distinguish between what's truly important and what's just noise. It shrinks our daily anxieties down to their proper size, small and insignificant. It's a call to action, to live fully, to love generously, and to not sweat the small stuff, because our time here is finite and precious. Building on that, the track premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. This isn't about wallowing in negativity. It's a strategic exercise to build resilience. Here's how it works. Take a moment each morning to think about what could go wrong during your day. You might get stuck in traffic, your presentation could fail, or you might have a disagreement with a loved one. Visualize these scenarios. Now, the crucial part. Think about how you would handle them. What tools do you have? You could listen to a podcast in traffic. You could have a backup plan for your presentation. You could practice patience and clear communication in a disagreement. By mentally rehearsing for adversity, you strip it of its shock value and its power over you. When something actually does go wrong, you're not caught off guard. You've already prepared. You're ready. Fear thrives on the unknown, and this practice makes the future known manageable and far less scary. So much of our anxiety comes from living anywhere but here and now. We're either replaying past mistakes or worrying about a future that hasn't happened. The Stoics understood this perfectly. They championed living in the present moment. Your power to act, to think, and to choose exists only in the now. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. When you find your mind spiraling about what if, gently guide it back to the present. What can you do right now? Focus on the task at hand, whether it's writing an email, washing the dishes, or talking to a friend. Ground yourself in your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? Ti practice. Now, no mindfulness is cornerstone of Stoic thought. Anxiety cannot survive in the present moment. It's a ghost that feeds on the past and future. Starve it by staying anchored in the here and now. This leads us to the concept of Stoic indifference. This doesn't mean you become a cold, unfeeling robot. It means learning to be indifferent to things that don't truly matter. The Stoics called these indifference things like wealth, reputation, health, and social status. Now, that might sound crazy. Of course, health and wealth are good, right? The Stoics agreed they are preferred indifference. It's better to be healthy than sick. But they are good, virtue life. Your character, your integrity, you can those things that are true. You can be a good person whether you're rich or poor, famous or unknown. When you stop tying your self-worth and happiness to these external things that can be taken away at any moment, you become truly free. You stop worrying about keeping up with the Joneses or getting a certain number of likes on social media because you know your inner peace doesn't depend on it. Let's bring this into the 21st century with some practical examples. At work, you're about to give a big presentation. Instead of obsessing over whether everyone will love it, which is outside your control, focus on what you can control: your preparation, your research, and your delivery. Do your absolute best, and then let go of the outcome. On social media, you see someone's perfect vacation photos and feel a pang of envy and anxiety. A Stoic would pause and remember the dichotomy of control. Their life is not your concern, your perception is. You can choose to be inspired, or you can choose to log off and focus on your own path. In a relationship, your partner is in a bad mood. Instead of immediately thinking it's your fault or judgment, you can simply be there for them, offering support without trying to fix their emotions which you can't control. You control your actions, being a supportive partner. What's fascinating is how these ancient practices perfectly align with modern psychology. In fact, Stoicism is the philosophical grandfather of one of the most effective therapies for anxiety, cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT. CBT is based on the idea that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are interconnected, and that we can change how we feel by changing how we think. Sound familiar? That's pure Stoicism. When a therapist helps you identify and challenge negative thought patterns, they essentially teaching you to do what Marcus Aurelius did in his journal 2,000 years ago, to question your impressions and choose a more rational, helpful perspective. This isn't just some old philosophy. It's a proven psychological framework for mental well-being that has stood the test of time. It worked for Roman emperors, and it can work for you. So, how do we begin? We begin by choosing reason over reaction, peace over panic. We accept what we cannot change and take courageous action on what we can. We remember that our time is short, so we shouldn't waste it on trivial worries. We prepare for hardship not with fear, but with foresight. We live here, in this moment, where our true power lies. I want to leave you with a powerful reminder from Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who faced plague, war, and personal loss, yet still found tranquility. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The chaos of the world will not cease. But you don't have to let it become the chaos of your mind. You have the tools. You have the choice. Start today." Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, please give this video a like and subscribe for more content on practical philosophy for modern life. Let me know in the comments which Stoic idea you're going to try first. Take care and be well.